Nosfero is a supernatural hero that is a cross between The Shadow, Peter Cushing's Abraham Van Helsing, and Lovecraft's Henry Armitage. The lone surviving member of the secret holy order, he is sworn to battle a cult of vampires dedicated to opening the door to the eldritch gods they worship. Striking from his crypt lair deep within an impenetrable mire, Nosfero collects the cult's various grimoire and artifacts in an attempt to learn the means of defeating them. Nosfero, meaning Iron Nose, underwent the ritualistic binding to the spirit world, wherein members of the secret order have a shard from a holy sword driven through their noses to allow them to access supernatural abilities. One such ability allows Nosfero to summon Phantomas, a giant phantom hound that can travel through the nether to and from any location when needed. With no worldly attachments beyond his devotion to God, Nosfero's world is forever changed when he rescues a beautiful young maiden named Laurel from one of the cult's vile sacrificial rituals. Nosfero the Cryptwalker Volume 1 is my third Indiegogo campaign and will be a fully painted and lavishly illustrated pulp adventure story. Sensational, vivid, and uncompromisingly aspirational storytelling with an edge. Don't miss your chance to back Nosfero the Cryptwalker Volume 1, available for a limited time only on Indiegogo.
Without commitment, you'll never start. But more importantly, without consistency, you'll never finish. It's not easy, so keep working, keep striving, never give up, fall down 7 times, get up 8. Ease is a greater threat to progress than hardship. Ease is a greater threat to progress than hardship. So keep moving, keep growing, keep learning. See you at work.
Hey folks, here we are at long last, and I've got my trusty cell phone here because I am such a boomer. I cannot figure out how to share everything on screen. So we're here, guys, where we started 30 days ago, closing out this campaign's first 30 days. I see I've got some very special people here in the chat. You guys have made this thing amazing, and I just wanted to do a stream tonight to close it out, obviously, but to thank you guys for your support. And hopefully offer you guys, oh, that's right. That's exactly right. It's doing really well. Hi, Michael. Hi, Mel. Hey, everybody in the chat. Eric, Black Rose Comics. Let's see what we've got here. We've got B Rose. We've got Mel. We've got Michael. We've got Eric. We've got Jeremy. We've got Steven, as always. Everybody in here. Let me see who else I've got here. Jeremy, Eric, just making sure. And, of course, Lord Crackhead 33, keeping it real. Guys, thank you so much. So I wanted to make sure I did a stream, obviously, a closeout stream for the first 30 days. It's huge. You guys smashed through a record that is my first Indiegogo campaign, the one that I did before I had any support from any other larger group other than just putting my stuff out there. And it's an amazing thing to be able to look at how far we've come in that 30 days. And remembering the launch, the premature launch on Michael's channel, and the way that you guys jumped in there and made everything so much fun. The auction, it's exciting to know that artwork is finally in its home in Australia. And every step of the way, you guys have been so awesome so far, and I'm really looking forward to seeing where this campaign goes. The thing that I've been thinking about all day today, and I've been watching a lot of people's videos and seeing what people are up to on Twitter, Hey, OC Steve, good to see you. Yeah, absolutely. It feels really, really good. I'm going to see how it goes and see if I can figure out how to do an extension, or if I'm going to have one of those. This campaign is closed. I've got some really cool ideas for everybody who's backed in the first 30 days, so there's going to be some fun. And I've got my phone here, and already you guys have just been, adding so much to it, and I thank you for that. But yeah, I mean, so the big thing about this is that I was thinking today about something I said 2 years before I left teaching this past year. And it's something that I've thought was really important to share, and something that has been a huge conversation we're having in our house. My wife is actually right over here on the couch, and we've been sort of, talking about this kind of stuff all day and watching everything that's been going on with the campaign. And it really is, yeah, that's right. That's got to go on there. Being premature is forgivable. Oh, it's not showing the whole thing. As long as you put in the work afterwards. That's absolutely right. That's absolutely right. And this is the thing about it is when I came in here and I was doing this stuff, I said to my students about 2 years ago, I said, you got to kind of make a decision, and you have to figure out like where you are, where you come down on this, because everything else you do is going to be affected by this acknowledgement, what you believe in. And it's simple. Are you all in on this whole human condition thing? Are you all in on people, regardless of whether or not that you've seen awful things or people do terrible things to people? If you think it's worth keeping our stories, our traditions, our culture, our heroes, and life as you know it going. And one of the things that I think about when I'm thinking about, our artwork is that we have the ability to say to people, no, it's not all horrible. It's not all terrible. You can laugh during the terrible parts. You can be inspired, and it's never too late for you to turn things around and do something new. And me being here in Comicsgate and me working on the best work I've ever probably done in my life for Comicsgate is evidence of that. And I've met so many new people, so many new friends as a result of it. It really is incredible. And the other thing I said not too long ago that may sound kind of crazy is I said to people that I was around, I really want to spend more time and feel like I have more different opinions around me, and I want to be around more different kinds of people. And I have found a lot more different kinds of people in Comicsgate and in this little thing that we've been building, this thing of ours, as Ethan likes to say, than I found anywhere else in my life. And so that is what this campaign has been about. So let's see what people are saying in the chat here. Yes, B Rose, absolutely. Black Rose Comics, yeah, absolutely. You guys have been crushing it, and I've had so much fun on your streams. OC Steve, I feel like we're gonna be on more streams in the future, and I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, I mean, isn't that amazing? Like how we've all crossed paths as a result of this. And so one of the things that has been so cool about this is seeing so many different works of art, so many people doing cool things. I really feel like I'm home. I really feel like I found the place where I want to be creatively and artistically going forward. And to look at, how much we've done and how much we've been able to accomplish as a group, I go through that Comicsgate hashtag and I just see this parade of incredible artwork and creativity. And I couldn't be happier to be, bringing my book, into this. And I feel a tremendous amount of responsibility doing so. And so, yeah, so that's my big thing for tonight, and my big, stream, and why I wanted to show that Denzel Washington clip, because that's sort of one of those things that I live by, is, just to keep going, and make the commitment. And when I launched this campaign, it was a commitment. And it was, I was saying, I'm going to do this thing and it's going to be great all the way through. And this is my third time doing that. And I believe in the consistency thing. Those are the two words I live by. And so that also means that I'm going to have to make sure I'm working hard to be consistent on my streaming and consistent on sharing people's work. And that's the thing I'm most psyched about going forward with all of this stuff. So let me know if you guys have any questions in the chat. There's my wedding band, which is one of my whys. And let me just see if I can get this to focus. That right there, guys, that right there is what you've been able to accomplish. I thought it was unbelievable at the end of the first weekend when I was on Pete Sameti's show, and just as a joke, because I had $5 more before I made it to my funding goal, I thought it was a joke to say, oh, hey, you know, maybe we'll get it funded on this show. And Pete kept me on that show, and people kept, you know, saying, all right, I got you. It's going to fund. Just don't let him off the show yet. And it made for a really sort of special experience. So I had that great launch. I was looking at the stream today, wading into CG waters on Michael's show, and it just seems like that was yesterday that I met all of you guys. So it's been a pretty amazing experience, and I'm really looking forward to where we go from here. So here's some questions I have for you guys in the chat. I want to add some things to the stretch goals that we have right there. So right now at about 10K, we've got a bookmark as a possibility. We've got a bunch of different things that we're thinking about doing. I'm thinking about adding a trading card to that as well, to the 10K. And so I want to know what you guys think in terms of stretch goals you'd like to see, things you'd like to see us make, so that we can put that into, you know, our ideas going forward. What do you guys say? Hail Sumo Thori. It's good to have you here with us. And this has been amazing, guys. Oh, look at this. Look at you guys go. Here you are. Hail the chat indeed. So what are you guys thinking about in terms of stretch goals? So I want to do some trading cards because I've been seeing that. We've hit the stretch goal where everybody's going to get a beautiful new a print. So everybody who's backed, because we've crossed 7.5K, we're going to get that poster of the cover. But what else? What else do you guys want to see? What other things are you interested in? That's what I'm really excited about going forward. There's going to be stickers for everybody who backed. I think it was, we have it marked down. But everybody who backed within a certain period. But I'm going to be throwing in a ton of different bonus materials into this book and seeing what else we can do. But I'd love to hear some more thoughts from you guys. Also, too, in terms of things I need to paint. Look at you guys. Give myself a nice bonus. Yeah, I think that this is probably one of the coolest bonuses I've ever had. That we're going to be able to have this book. That's bonus enough for me. I want to put, you know, cool stuff into it, and I want to grow this campaign. And if we hit stretch goals, that stuff will pay for itself. I mean, we've got the stickers ready to go. We're, you know, looking at the trading cards. I'm going to definitely reach out to my friends and brothers in Comicsgate who've done trading cards in terms of where to go. But yeah, that's the thing. Wow, you see my whole, all my apps. See if I can get back to there. There we go. It's like, I don't need to advertise for anybody right now. But yeah, so this is where we've been at. This is where we brought ourselves. So yeah, I should get a nice bonus. So the other thing is too is in terms of the interior, one of the things I've been thinking about is I'm going to probably have some extra pieces in there. Would you guys rather see? Yes. Look at all this. This is the best. It's almost like where everybody knows your name, Michael and Mel. You guys know what I'm talking about. And Joe. Lloyd, good to see you, Lloyd. How are you doing? I'm so excited about your sketch. I'm not a fan of prints or trading cards, but there are many people with terrible taste that do like them. I love that, Eric. It's not gonna fit completely on here, but I wanted to see if I could do it. Yeah, let me see here. That's great. It's not gonna all fit on there, but let's put it up there anyway. See if we can do it. I should have tested this to see if it would work. Nice. Yeah, so I mean, I'm thinking about that, and then the other thing I've been thinking about is adding in whether or not I want to do pinups, or whether or not you guys want me to do pinups in the back of the book of character, you know, paintings and things like that, or if you would like me to do like maybe a 3-page short story that leads in if we hit to certain stretch goals, because I'm thinking about doing a bonus story or bonus artwork pinups in the back of the book if we hit some of the higher stretch goals I have planned. What do you guys think? Look at this. Eric Weathers. Oh my gosh, look at you guys. You guys are so awesome. Look at this. You people. This is what it's about, guys. It's about the chat. I mean, I cannot believe you guys. You guys are amazing. Short story. I've got a short story from my guy. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I think that's one of the things I was curious about, and I know how you feel about it. And by the way, Stephen Rockwood, congratulations, and same thing goes to Michael and everybody, and Eric as well. Great job on, the Graveyard Shift Visions book. Everybody's artwork looks so fantastic in there, and great job. It's really cool to see it. There you go. Short story. All right, look at that. There's one of my favorite patrons as an artist. I'm so glad this is going to be, those paintings are going to be in your house. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. So let's see what else we've got here. Good day, Oz. There you go. OC. Look at all the love in the chat. You guys are amazing. So can't say no to more story. Yeah, I can see that that's something a lot of people are reacting to. Let's see. It'd be cool to see some lore and backstory about the Holy Order of Nosfero part there. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, that's a really good point, OC Steve. It says art would be cool. It would be cool to see some lore in the back about the Holy Order and Nosfero is as a part of the arc. I gotcha. Hail Black Rose Comics. Excellent. Yeah, Oz the Great Sage. Look at you guys. Dying Days of YouTube. Hail Chat. There you go. Yeah, Hail Chat indeed. Thank you guys. The Dying Days of YouTube. Stephen Rockwood, OC Steve. Look at all this. You guys are great. Awesome. So you're thinking in terms of stories. The other thing I was thinking about too, because I was looking at some books where people do kind of the character bio things or show how different things work. My story isn't that gadget heavy, but there are some interesting artifacts and there are some interesting things in it. So I might throw in some of that stuff as well. But it's looking like the story is the thing people are leaning into more. More, and more. There you go. That's right. Absolutely right. The all-time best. Oh, absolutely I do. Yeah, oh yeah. This is a custom paint job I was working on for that. So, here you go. I actually feel kind of bad because I think that, it would be much cooler if I had something that I grabbed and it fell over, because I feel like that's the key to Shane's success right there. That's what makes Shane so great. Keep Xing out of that. There we go. We see, I'm going to hit, I can't imagine we have more backers than we already have, but I'm going to refresh it anyway just to keep it there. All right, good. So there we go, guys. So let me see here. All of the hails and loves in the chat. Amanda B, good to see you here. All right, magnets. We got some magnet fans here. I'm going to have to talk to Michael and Mel about those magnets. That's got to happen. Be careful. Do not overextend yourself. Have you been talking to my wife? I think you may have been talking to my wife. By the way, I don't think I can get her on camera, but I think I can get a quick hello in here. So let me see here. So Lauren, do you want to say hi, Comicsgate, and thank you guys for backing the book?
Hi, Comicsgate. Thank you so much for everything. It's been wonderful.
There you go. You guys just got the missus saying hello. Amanda loves magnets, puzzles. Now, Michael, have you done a puzzle? I'm just curious. So we've got puzzles, and we've got a confirmation that Amanda loves magnets. That is the way that it is. I can't get a sandwich. I don't. Here's the thing. I don't even know if you guys. Shane is much more classy than I am. Oh, by the way, someone did ask me if I would have a sumo tier, and I want you to know that my wife will happily dress me up like a sumo wrestler if I get to 200K. So there's no concern there. That would absolutely, because I feel insanely safe that that's not going to happen. So I feel really good about that. But yeah, no, she can bring me, I don't know, I eat like beef jerky, so I eat junk. So let me see here. I wouldn't say no to a puzzle either. There you go. I think it would be fun to do a movie stream. Talk about some of the films that inspired your art. Oh, I think that's a great idea. I finished drawing my book, and all I got was this bottle of whiskey, but no sandwich. That's a good one. Eric Weathers, it's great to have you in the chat. I've been admiring your work and watching your streams and lurking in them for a long time, and I think your piece was fantastic in the Visions book, but I've seen your work everywhere, so really killer work. It's just so great to see everybody's stuff. Let me see here. Oh, very cool. Shane is much more classy than I am. Oh my God. Yes. Well, seriously. Shane thinks that he might be more classy, but or less classy, and maybe, but I don't know. He's got me beat, and his stuff is amazing. Really looking forward to that book. All right, so let's see what we got here. I gotta have that up there, and then we've got, let's see, all this talk of stuff that is not a book or an ash can is giving me indigestion. So we've got story. So that's a hard push for story. I like that. Excellent. Yeah. I mean, guys, that's the thing for me too. I'm going to be adding the way that the story is looking right now. I think it's going to be, obviously it's going to be a solid amount of story, and you guys are going to be seeing it every step of the way. And the first thing for me is always the book. The first thing to me is, and that's why I enjoy doing everything. I've got, the InDesign templates all laid out. I've got all of my ideas, so everything else is just there to make the experience, more enjoyable and build a sense of the world. I've seen so many great campaigns where the book is fantastic, and I know that's job one, and that's where the commitment and the consistency comes in from me. But I also think there's something really great to be said for getting stuff that just adds to that experience. Let's see. A lot of campaigns have a shirt. That's the next question. What would you guys want to see on a shirt that would be worth having? And I also got to talk to some people about where they get their shirts made. If anybody has a good line on shirts, let me know. Yes. Yeah, that's the other thing about this too. And that was the thing that I was thinking about when we're talking about, inspiration. Sorry, let me add that to the broadcast so people can see it. OC Steve says this is a great universe that can cross different eras in history, telling the story of a holy order and other members. You're absolutely right. That is definitely something I'm thinking about. And this is the other thing about it is I want you guys to know, those of you who've backed the book and those of you who are helping to get the word out about this book, is that this book's going to have adventure, this book's going to have drama, but more than anything else, the story is going to have a positive, life-affirming arc. I don't think that darkness is mutually exclusive with having something that's positive and heroic. This is a story about good and good people overcoming evil. And I think that's a really important thing. This story is about a group of people who, as, Ayn Rand said in Atlas Shrugged, and as, Lovecraft is so wonderfully illustrated. Let's see, the shirt market in CG is saturated, but the underwear market is still up. Yeah, absolutely. So now, wait a second. When you say, when you're talking about the underwear market, here's the question that I have. This is the thing I'm trying to understand. Do you mean the underwear market in terms of like sumo undergarments? Because I don't know, that's a tough market. Underwear models? No. Yeah. I don't know how we're gonna make that one work, but you never know. Yeah, the t-shirt market is really cool. The other thing is there's a lot of unbelievably quality stuff. So I don't know about you guys, but when I buy a shirt and when I buy a t-shirt, I really want it to have a beautiful design and be something that I can wear and not just have something, put on it that is like a book cover or anything like that. That stuff can be really cool. Like if it's a Dale Keown cover, then it's amazing and it can work as a shirt. But I'm really thinking about how I could get into doing certain things on shirts with some of the logos I've created. Crypto Fashion or St. Clair, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they sound great. Let's see, boxer briefs, thongs, hammocks. Oh yeah, you guys are crazy. I love it. Yeah, I'm definitely looking at both of those. All right, I'm putting that up, but I'm not reading that. There you go. You guys are hilarious. I would ask Brian from Aerith Saga. Yeah, his shirts are the best quality in CG, in my opinion. Yeah, I'll have to ask Aerith. That'd be great. Yeah, I'd have to ask Brian. I'm used to seeing Aerith Saga in the name on my chat there. But yeah, that sounds like a really good idea. The other thing is I've got this whole catalog of artwork that I own the copyright to. So if you guys have seen my artwork and there are any pieces that you're interested in seeing me put on a shirt, let me know. Or if you're interested in seeing me do something, new for a t-shirt. Because I think that's the thing that is interesting to me. I produce a lot of artwork, and no matter what, I'm going to be doing a lot of things while I'm working. Obviously editing videos, doing more streams. I'm going to be doing more short videos. And the book is the biggest priority. But if an image comes along, let me know. Logo on the front and a print on the back. Excellent. Yeah, maybe the channel logo on the right sleeve. Ooh, that's a good idea too. I would ask, let's see here. Where is your catalog? Oh, my catalog of artwork. So my catalog of artwork in terms of where you can find stuff is, let me see if I can get this to work. So if you go to that website right there and you go into the art book section, you can see a decent overview of artwork that I've created. And of course, the Instagram has everything, but that's the easiest place to go to look at some of the greatest hits of the artwork from those two, from the first two art books. And so, yeah, I'm thinking about that. Oh, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. And it's got other stuff on there, my portrait painting, my wildlife painting stuff, and things like that. But yeah, that's the stuff to me where it happens. You know, that's where I get to show everything off, and then I can keep uploading stuff. But some people like, you know, the gorilla stuff that I do, or that logo stuff. Something I was thinking about doing on a shirt, which is going to be, I'm gonna move the master here. But one of the things I was thinking about putting on a shirt here is one of the stickers that you guys are going to be getting. So this is my Gnarly McFiend's fan club sticker, which I've been thinking about putting that in there. And having, you know, that painting that I did in there. So let me show you guys the painting because I have it right here. It's always lurking in the background. If I won't knock the painting I did of Lily or the Cyberfrog painting down. But this painting, whoa, that's way too far. I'm gonna have to hold it up like this because it's big enough. So this painting right here is something I've been thinking about putting on a shirt that I think could be interesting. And so this is one of the characters I created that was kind of out of my love for, you know, the kind of creepy and eerie characters. And he's got the stitching of the E in my signature on his forehead. I don't know if you guys can tell that or not from there. So yeah, that's one of the things I was thinking about maybe doing as a shirt. I also could do, you know, the Nosfero logo on a shirt and some artwork, but I really want to make sure it's something that you guys are going to be into if we do that. Let me see what else I've got here. Very cool. Where's your catalog? Love that, guys. Logo on the front. Very cool. Website link. Let me see. Let's just see here. I got to keep remembering to refresh this thing. Just on the off chance. I feel like you guys have already done your bit for King and Country. Here we go. So, here we go. So, let's see what other questions we have in the chat here. Nice. Oh, yeah. So, when we were talking about influences and me talking about influences on my work, one of the things that I want to make sure that I start doing on this channel is, and I had talked to Andy Smith about it, but we haven't had a chance to schedule it, and he's going to check out the videos. But I wanted to have a conversation with Andy Smith about Heroes, First Man 2, and, you know, how his process goes with hero characters. But I also want to start talking about some of the stuff I used to do when I was teaching about mythology, comparative mythology, character design, and all of that stuff on this channel, because a lot of people have been mentioning on Twitter that they want to, you know, work on their characters and develop stories and want to hear some more talk about mythology. And for me, Joseph Campbell was a huge influence on my work. I've actually got the Power of Myth DVD series right here for those of you guys. If you've never seen it, this was one of the authors that influenced George Lucas in the creating of Star Wars. He influenced so many writers, Watership Down, a lot of those books, and so that was a huge impact on my work. So I want to start talking about mythology and start talking about how, you know, important it is and what we're doing here in CG is to Western culture and this history of creating characters that are individuals, characters that are striving for, you know, striving for a better world, striving to, you know, but living in a real world as they do. Characters who have their faults and have their difficulties, but are overcoming things. And I want to present beauty and goodness with the same level of complexity that Lovecraft is able to articulate evil. So I'm going to have both of those things being shown in a much more interesting, rich, and hopefully sublime light. So that is the big plan as we go forward. When I talk about things like, you know, creating my version of angels, I want you to be thinking about in this world, you know, angels that are as visually interesting as a creature like Cthulhu or Yog-Sothoth or any of these characters that are envisioned in these very abstract terms. I think that's where my Guillermo del Toro influence comes in, but it's also where my character design influence comes in. And so that's the big goal. Admiral Whack-Ass, what's up? Exactly. Yeah, imagine, if you can imagine for a second, sorry to chat and go, but I have to close the business down. All right, my friend, Lloyd Burton, thank you so much for coming in, and thank you for supporting this campaign. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate you, my friend. Really, really appreciate you. And Admiral, good to see you, brother. So yeah, Demonic Angels, perfect point. So when I was sitting here thinking about, when you see a Lovecraftian villain or a Lovecraftian character, that level of fear that you have when you see it, when they describe how your blood runs cold when you see it, how you can't breathe, how it's beyond words, how characters who read about them are left with this idea. Awesome, Lloyd. You take care, and thank you again. This would not be happening if it wasn't for your support. Really, I cannot overstate that, guys. You guys are awesome. But I think about the idea of what is the visual manifestation that we would understand of goodness that would make someone that's evil, would make a vampire be afraid. It's not just going to be a person with wings that would do that. What would happen if somebody opened a doorway to another plane of existence that allowed goodness to come in? What form would cosmic goodness take on? It would be haunting, it would be sublime, it would make you, just fall to the ground, in emotion at seeing it. That's the stuff that I want to make possible. That's what I want to visualize. All of this stuff, by the way, is much like how it happens in Lovecraftian stories, where it's not 90% of the story. It's those moments where you get glimpses of these things. And I've designed some crazy characters that I can't really show you guys yet that are going to be a part of this. And they're going to be enormous. I have a design and an idea for the Angel Gabriel that is beyond anything human looking. Let me see here. Oh, yes. That's awesome. Christopher Vogler's The Writer's Journey is a good book that delves into Campbell's works and influences. It even has a chapter on Star Wars. Yeah, I've got to check that out. The thing that's been really interesting to me about Campbell is not long ago somebody said to me, what do you think is going to be the next Joseph Campbell? And this was a decade or so ago, I think. But I have the post up somewhere so you can actually find it. Because I'd written a really big piece looking at Campbell's work, some of his influences and where things have gone, and it was a little analytical. And the thing about it for me was, I said that for me, the thing about Joseph Campbell is that I said the next person who comes in is probably going to be somebody coming out of the field of psychology who talks about myth, the hero's journey, and how to apply it to your life. And I think that if I had to say who I think the modern Joseph Campbell is, I'd have to say Jordan Peterson fits the bill pretty well. And I remember when I saw him, and he even mentioned just kind of being aware of Joseph Campbell, and I thought, yep, you've pretty much seemed to understand how mythic structure and how important these stories are and how we live our lives kind of ties into psychology. So I'm really, interested in seeing that, and I'm interested in us talking about writing, and interested in us talking about, the stories that we tell. The best thing about being here is being able to talk about fantasy, being able to talk about, fiction, being able to talk about these things that are really important, and they play important roles in our lives as artists, as writers, and as audience members reading them. And so, to me, the sword is an important metaphor, all of that stuff. But the idea of what do you do in the face of people who are afraid to live and wants to bring about destruction? Like, how do you make the decision, and how do you put your flag in the ground and say, I'm for this. This is what I stand for, and I believe in life. I believe in people. Art is a crazy thing. Every person who backs one of these books is saying yes to this amazing thing called art. You guys are investors. You're putting money into it to make the process of making the book possible. And I can't overstate how grateful I am for that. It's interesting because it's not like buying a comic book. That's not what backing these campaigns are like. It goes deeper than that. It's you're making an investment, and you're saying to somebody, I believe that you are going to deliver me a product. I believe that you are an honorable person, and that I believe that your artwork and what you're trying to do is worth me supporting it so that you can make it happen. and that's never lost on me, ever. I'm so appreciative that you guys are, and that's why, again, I think it was so important to crowdfund and fulfill those 2 art books, because I want people to know before I stepped into CG, especially people who may not have received campaigns. I know there's been some Kickstarter campaigns that have never been filled, to know that I'm going to, be fulfilling my campaign, and I'm not going to let you guys down. And that's been a huge thing for me. Oh, wow, there's a lot of chats coming in, and I just just missed them because I was stuck up there. Hang on a second. Oh, so, yeah, sorry, this is really funny. I hope you enjoyed. Excellent. Yeah. So let me just go through these real quickly. Bancroft got the Lucent. Looks great. Gonna crack into that this week. And loved your pinup in the book. Hope you enjoy it. It's great. You're gonna love it. Eric Guapo says the Lucent is great if you can get past the cover. Oh, Eric. That's crazy. Here we go. Here's the response and the return. It's pretty easy, Eric. All you need to do is open the book. Let me see here. I admire how Jordan Peterson deals with conflict and adversity. I absolutely do. That's right. Will he be blowing a horn though? All right, there you go. Let me see. You can look at your art and know it's... Oh, geez. All right, I walked into that one. Thank you very much, Admiral Waggis. I appreciate that. And thank you, Lord Crackhead33, for continuing to put the link to the book in the chat. I really, really appreciate that. So the thing for me about it is that when you talk about that and mythological symbols, I had not thought about whether my character would ever be in a situation where he might need to do that. But you're definitely opening the door for me in terms of thinking about that, right? Because I think that that's part of the reason why what we can do in mythology is so cool. I, of course, love, huge fan of C.S. Lewis, both his nonfiction and fiction works. I love his discussions. I love, I have a huge collection of the signature series of his books, but also just some of the genius of how he expanded the idea of fantasy and linked it into his religion, to his faith. And I love the idea of Susan having that horn that she could blow, and that calling them back into the world when it's discovered. And so I love that stuff. Yeah, very true. Michael Bancroft says, mythology delves into timeless themes that are always relevant. Yes, I love Gilgamesh. Themes of civilization, heroism, mortality, and pride. You're absolutely right. Yes, Mike, mythology never gets old. I would love if there was a way for us to watch it online, for us to do a watching, or maybe I'll just record some kind of commentary, although it seems like it would be wrong to do a commentary over that great conversation. But I might do a video about Joseph Campbell and mythology, because to me, mythology has had this life-saving, and life, as Campbell would say, vivifying impact. And comics, to me, are a form of mythology that was accessible. I was obviously exposed, when I was growing up, I was exposed to Hindu mythology, and I was exposed to Catholicism and Christianity. And those kinds of symbols have become the vocabulary by which I talk about things. And that's why I think that American pop culture is so important for us to both, make and defend and support. And when you see people, doing that, and you see the culture coming out of Australia and in Britain and everywhere in the Western world, everywhere in Europe, everywhere in South America, that is based on certain ideas of individuality and culture, I think that's incredibly important. And I'm really excited because I think about, and I know, Michael, I'm going to apologize for bringing this up. You'll have to forgive me. But as someone who is a big fan of the Mad Max movies, not because of so much of the nihilism, but because of some of the themes in them, I remember watching those movies and thinking, this is just unbelievably creative in terms of shoestring budget, epic work. And that's one of those things that I think mythology and storytelling is something that is both cheap and requires a lot of experience. Like, why would you, when you see stories, why wouldn't you have, what's a good example? I'll give you a really good example. Yeah, not enough ruse, unrealistic. That's right. Well, you never know. They might have been taken out. I always joke that whenever there's an American post-apocalyptic movie by Kevin Costner, or particularly with The Postman, it seems like everybody got a British accent somehow. I don't know how that worked out in some cases. But the thing for me about works like that and fiction like that is that before H.P. Lovecraft willed these crazy things into New England, they didn't exist and they weren't a part of our lives. Look at Patrick Thomas Parnell and doing a book of Sleepy Hollow. That story is not that old, and it's a part of our culture. The Headless Horseman, all of it. What makes those stories rise to the top? It's that sense of play. And when I was thinking about this story and these characters, I thought there's got to be those idiosyncratic aspects of storytelling that make storytelling exciting. And the spirit sort of dog creature that I know a lot of you guys like, that is something that is going to play a pretty pivotal role in why the first time he uses his powers and why he's the sole surviving member of the thing that wipes out the order. And so that's the thing to me I'm most excited about. So let's take a look at this real quick here. And I'm not going to refresh it, but I want to make sure that you guys see this. Okay? This right here, this is you guys. You made this happen. And it's incredible. It's incredible to me. You guys did this, and you guys have supported us, and my wife and I could not be happier and more grateful. Let's see. My 4-year-old daughter is obsessed. Let me see here. My 4-year-old daughter is obsessed with the new movie about King Arthur. Oh, excellent. There's something about these stories that last. Yeah, my favorite, I've got to buy it at some point or track down a copy of it, but my favorite paintings, so my favorite N.C. Wyeth paintings are the, the boys' book for whatever it was, I forget what they called it back then, of King Arthur stories. And they're just incredible Arthurian legend stories. Robin Hood. Oh, refresh it? Okay, gotta refresh it. All right. Oh my gosh, are you guys kidding me? Okay, guys, we're at 120 backers, you maniacs. This is nuts, guys. Is this real? Am I really in Comicsgate? I have been in it as a customer for ages, but this is my first Comicsgate book, guys. This is crazy. You guys don't like. I always say things opposite because of my dyslexia. It drives me nuts sometimes. I was gonna say you guys don't understand, but that's not what I mean. I don't know how to convey is what I mean. How long I have waited to make a Comicsgate comic book, and this just seems completely unreal to me. That you guys have shown up and backed this book. It just gets me. And I am so unbelievably grateful. And I'm going to be working so hard to keep promoting this book and to keep, putting it out there and going on shows and figuring out how to have people on my show and talking about other people's work. I've been really enjoying these unboxings videos. I'm going to be doing more of them. But if there's somebody's artwork or anything you want me to talk about on my show, please send me a message on Twitter. Because I love to go in depth and look at people's work. I'm looking to do some short videos and things like that. But you guys. So, oh, whoops, I let the chat was going. Sorry, it jumped. Thank you guys. I appreciate that. Let me catch up here. Jeremy Bent. The hero's journey is timeless people facing this. All right, let me add this to the broadcast. The hero's journey is timeless people facing adversity and showing their fortitude in the face of evil and hardship, from OC Steve. Absolutely right. You're doing well. Keep it up, man. Thank you, guys. I appreciate easily one. Oh, wow. Admiral Wackass, you're killing me. Easily one of the most anticipated books I've backed. Same here, Admiral, from Lord Crackhead 33. The Dying Days of YouTube. Finally able to back Nosfero, number 121. I'm hibernating on physical books for a while, but I mean, come on, Sean. Is an auteur in our community of auteurs. Okie doke. Oh my god. This broadcast is brought to you by Xanax. You guys are killing me. Aside from Wrecked Planet, this is the first book I want. Oh, that's... You guys. Stop. Black Rose Comics. You guys are awesome. And yeah, hail Dying Days. You guys... You're doing so much for this family, and just in terms of, I gotta tell you guys this, okay? I like I said, I'm all in on humanity. I believe in humanity, and I kind of comics were the place that I went where I felt like I could talk, to the comic shop owner, Wade Sane, a really terrific guy. He'd put comic books aside for me, and then I would meet my heroes at comic conventions, and by and large, the people I admired the most were always, very kind to me. And, I guess I've been in a world where people are talking about things and upholding ideas that I don't agree with. Ideas that are anti-individual, about splitting people apart on the basis of race, and certainly on the basis of religion or everything, sexual orientation, whatever you want to list it as. It's all about dividing things up. And it really kind of made me lose faith for a little while in what I know happened in my own experiences going into comic shops and nobody caring. Of people saying, have you read this issue? Of people saying, gosh, I love Hammer horror films too. Oh my God, I love that. How are you doing that with the media? How are you doing that with paint? Oh, is that in digital? Oh, do you want to do a pinup or drawing of my character? I'll do a drawing of your character. Those were the things that I lived for. And you guys are making it happen. Having some rad books for the coffee table is a plus besides getting the Nosfero comic. Yeah, absolutely. You're going to love these books, OZ Steve. I love these books. I've always got them, I was just flipping through them today and looking at, the paper stock and see if I can get that on frame here. There we go. Looking at the paper stock and how these books come together. Nice square binding, but then that's the thing about it, right? Sean, the more people that see this art, the campaign will just keep growing, keep going. But thank you. I appreciate that, Stephen Rockwood. You've been, so many of you guys and have been there for me and been so supportive during this campaign, and I appreciate it. And I got to tell you guys, Steven's been, sharing the artwork and doing the time-lapse videos, and I really, it's like, all of you guys, like Lord Crackhead, 33, it's like you've been here and you've been supporting these books. And Mo Biggs, it's good to have you in the house. Hail, Mo Biggs. You guys have been there and encouraging me to go and put the stuff out there and keep doing it. I had a friend of mine who's really close to me, and I was talking to him about, this work and how, it all goes and how I put this stuff together. And I said, my mind is kind of blown about the chat and about, the people who are showing up about the work. It's kind of overwhelming because it was a leap of faith. I mean, I remember when Ethan said that he was just going to, fall back and hope that his fans and Comicsgate caught him, and how him and Andrea felt that happened. My wife and I are very much on the same, in the same place with that, where I said, to my wife, I go, I'm leaving everything I know. I'm leaving, a certain amount of security because I want to be able to speak my mind and talk about the things I'm passionate about. And it was a huge decision for us, and it changed the way we're doing things. And you guys have been such amazing advocates. I am so proud to know you, and I'm so grateful to have your support. It's amazing stuff. Let's see what we got here. Let's see here. The style. Oh, thank you. Wow, that's cool. Lord Crackhead. Yeah, the style is really unique, and we'll see the whole book is hand painted. The quality is definitely going to catch, I think. Yeah, it's just a matter of time. Thank you so much. Hail to everybody in the chat. Stephen Rockwood. Hi, Mo Biggs. Isaac Great. Hi, Mo. Everybody saying hello. I think that most of us really know what it's like to live in a collectivist society. It's so much more of a straitjacket in ways you have to experience to realize, yes, absolutely. Yeah, that's absolutely true. So that actually goes back to something I was thinking about today when somebody says to me, like Comicsgate, it's like, does everybody have to think the same there? Does everybody have to do this the same there? People can agree on certain principles without agreeing on everything. And I think that's the difference between us and a lot of other groups, is that when I see Shane or Ethan's or Michael's or any artists or John's success, I'm happy for their success. I don't think it's mine. I don't think I need to have someone else's success or they have to have mine. And I don't need other people I don't need to have the exact same level of success as somebody else in order to feel good about myself. I just have to have the biggest success I can. And I also don't need other people to fail in order to feel good about myself. I don't need everything to be balanced and equal. I just need to have a shot to put my work out there and have people see it. And just, if I can work my tail off and grow something, it's great. but I see the people who are succeeding around me and doing really great as something to be inspired by, something to learn from, and something to go after. That's why I work so hard on my art. That's why I try to make it as great as possible, because I want to be that for somebody else. And that's the one thing I've never felt anywhere else. There's always that kind of creeping, resentment that you see people have. Why did that person get that office? Why not me? Why is that person getting paid that much for that instead of me? My attitude is I do great work and I try to find people who value it. And that's what we do here. And I want my work to be as successful as it can possibly be, but I don't need anyone else to dip their head so that I feel better. And I don't need, I love being free of resentment of other people. One of my favorite quotes is, resentment is like drinking poison and waiting for the other person to die. And there's nothing worse than being in a culture that's entirely built on resentment. And it's the worst thing in the world. And the thing is, how can we get more people in here for this closeout? First of all, you guys are awesome, and thank you for getting the word out and all that kind of stuff. My thing is I'm gonna continue to keep working and promoting things, and I hope I can get more people excited about this channel, and I'm gonna be doing a lot more. I think one of the things that is gonna help this channel a lot is me making videos that I know how to make. In terms of to promote other people's books and projects, which I'm really excited about, where I can talk about them and talk with the creators and figure out a way to do that. And that's the big thing I'm looking forward to doing. But the thing I'll tell you this is, and I said this to my students about collectivism, communism in particular, I said, communism is, and this whole collectivist idea is a culture of resentment by people who are angry that they're not being rewarded for contributing nothing. And that's the big thing. I buy Cyberfrog, I back Cyberfrog, but I don't have to make Cyberfrog. I don't have to do all that insane hatching that Ethan does, and I love it. That I don't have to do it, I just get to experience it. And that's the joy. I don't think that I'm entitled to or deserve any of that success unless I work hard enough and unless the audience likes my work enough and says, that's beautiful, it brings something to my life, I want it to happen. Like, I want it to be a part of it. And that's, to me, the ultimate sign of respect, that you're having my book into your home, that you're having my work into your home. Let's see what we got here. Oh, awesome. Bad Crow Comics, congrats on the closeout. Looking forward to the books. Thank you so much. I find your work inspirational because it's so idiosyncratic in a good way. Thank you. Yeah, that's absolutely what it is, right? It's my work is idiosyncratic, but sincere, I think is the best way I could put it. And that's what I shoot for. What is I think that was Guillermo del Toro said that once, that he was socially awkward but sincere. Yes. Oh gosh, yeah. You guys are awesome. Yeah, Michael's been great. And so is Mel. You guys have supported so many of my campaigns, or so many people's campaigns, and so many of my streams, that I really appreciate it. You guys are awesome. And yeah, at some point when I do, my wife is convinced. Oh my gosh, look at how many of you guys are here. Look at you guys. Thank you so much for coming in here. Frog GL. Look at you guys. You guys are machines. See, this is why Comicsgate is so great. It's just like how collecting comics and things used to be. Oh yeah, so that's something, since I've got, as you guys are, coming in and out of here, I want to make sure I say this because I really wanted to say this today on this stream, this closeout stream. And it's this. When I was going to comic shops and going to comic conventions and showing my work around, and whenever I've been in fan culture and the fan community, the thing that I always loved about it was the fact that there were so many different kinds of people coming in there with these shared interests, and there was this sense of, we were just so excited to find one another, and that we were all equally excited about art and comics and these characters. And for me, it was almost like a nauseating feeling of indignation, and I'm still, like, it really bothers me. I try not to let it, but it really angers me that people would dare to say that this community that I had firsthand experience with being accepting and supportive and enthusiastic about me, like, here's an invitation if you guys want to know this. Yes, there are things that happened that were tough when I was coming up. Yes, I had experiences with racial slurs. Yes, I had experience with that stuff. But the thing that you guys cannot ever forget is that this is an imitation of some of my favorite memories in growing up in Tennessee. Hey, man, did you draw that? Freehand? And the conversations and friendships that would follow from people seeing artwork and how it broke down all of these barriers. So for me to sit there and hear people say, and I have another friend of mine, Michael's in the chat. My friend Michael, whose last name I don't use, Michael the Choice Voice, who makes Star Trek fan films and has a channel called The Choice Voice, did a huge epic rant on Star Wars The Last Jedi. And the thing, thank you, I actually could do an Australian accent, but I'm not going to do one because I'm intimidated now. After that contest, I'll never do one. But this is the thing. I felt like someone was attacking, my family, like my people. When people were saying Star Wars fans were racist, I felt like people who had spent zero time in this community that I love were coming in and saying, oh, the comic book industry hates people. We're trying to kill the stream. We're going to talk about I can talk about Star Trek. Have I talked to you guys about Star Trek yet? Yeah. So here you go. Michael, brace yourself, or whoever are my Star Trek fans. I don't think I've ever showed you this. You see that right there? That is a master copy I did on a wood panel right there. And of the Next Gen Enterprise that is from the Ready Room in Star Trek Next Generation. So yeah, there you go. Gosh, that ring light makes me look like, more like the devil than I was previously. But yeah, we love Star Trek. Oh, so who's my favorite captain? Oh, that's... Kirk. I gotta go with Kirk. I mean, in my heart, there's aspects of Picard I love, but Kirk's, the second and best captain. That's right. I'm including Pike in the pilot episode. But yeah, it's like, to me, all of that stuff, Gene Roddenberry is a huge influence on me. When people ask what my politics are, that's my politics. Gene Roddenberry is my politics. Can you tell us more about the lore of Star Trek, or which thing, or the lore of my book? You let me know. Admiral Wack asks, which one is it? The lore of my book or the lore of Star Trek? Yes, hail Oliver. Thank you so much for being in here, guys. You guys have made the campaign smash through 8,000. We're at 8,000. We have 120 backers, $8,280. This is amazing. I'm a Picard man. Yeah, my wife loves Picard. So yeah, I'm still waiting for Admiral Wackass to tell me what lore he's talking about. Whether I have to prove my Star Trek lore or talk about Nosfero lore. Lore, the character in Star Trek, Data lore. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Oh, do you mean if I have to choose between Data and lore, or what's my feelings on the crystalline entity? I'm not sure what you're talking about, but I do have to say, where Data cannot, lore can't. And so there's some more of my knowledge from Star Trek right there. So there you go. Yeah. Picard is in so many ways, and to me, as we go through this kind of crazy time period we're going through in the U.S. and in Australia and in the West and all this stuff, I always think of the I'm blanking on the name of the show, but when there's a explosion on the Enterprise and they do that trial, and it's called the drum shoot. What is it called? You guys know it. This stream is going off the rails on track. All right, so let's let me get it back on the rails here just a little bit, guys. Let me talk to you guys a little about something worse. Let me kill the stream right here. Let me talk to you about my favorite part in the Phantom Menace. I want to see if there's any crickets here. My favorite part in the Phantom Menace. Okay, so for me, I like the Phantom Menace's ending because it's some of the darkest stuff that a lot of people miss in Star Wars that I love. How's that? Yeah, that's not canon. So here you go. I love the creepy fact that the children at the end of Star Wars The Phantom Menace are singing sped up and in a higher pitch the Emperor's theme from Return of the Jedi to show that he won and that he's got himself in a position of power. How many people have noticed that? I've always loved that it's the Emperor theme. Oh my gosh. That's right, just back to now it's refund time. The only good part of the prequels is the Yoda lightsaber throw in 3. Yeah, that's a good one. Although I gotta tell you guys this. Speaking of my love of various Michaels, the Michaels I've loved, Michael Collins and Liam Neeson. I love the movie Michael Collins. My son's namesake, or the reason I named my son, his name is after Aidan Quinn. And so I was thrilled to see Liam Neeson as a Jedi. Totally worth the price of admission for me. Love that stuff. Yes, they were great. You know what's funny is, and this is totally perfect. My wife is reading a book that's called Woke Racism, and she's just dying laughing across the way from me. Yeah, of course. See, Jeremy Burtz knows what I'm talking about. I say Burtz. Why did I do that? Jeremy Burtz knows what I'm talking about. Bad Crow Comics. Yeah, for the way. That's right. The Black Hole. Wow, we're going deep into this stuff. Well, here's the crazy thing about it, right? Is that we've got so many different themes and genres we can explore, from science fiction, from fantasy to horror. I want Comicsgate to me could be how do I word it? When I look at Comicsgate, I love how it's going and I love what it is, but I dream of what it can become and how we can just create this thing, because the thing that happened, all this, there you go, on the farm just off Orwell Lane. That is some fabulously great references right there. Yeah. Duel of the Fates is awesome. You're absolutely right. Yeah, Ray Park did a great job there. I was one of the first 10 backers. I can't wait to see this book. I'm absolutely right. Yeah, I know that, and I appreciate you being there in those first 10 backers. I'm going to make sure that you guys get some of the coolest stuff in the world. Yes, I'd agree with that. Yeah, that was rough. What can you do? What can you do when that happens? And I'm not going to make any comment on Richard saying that. Yeah, people talk about that too. I know that they were trying to make that on, someone was trying to upscale that and put that up on Steam, and then it got taken down. But, this is the thing for me, right, is that when I see Wraith of God, I'm loving that. But also when I think about the idea of Starlight Cats being a book that exists inside of this space, no pun intended, I think that's the thing that I'm really excited about. Like, I had an idea. I should show you guys that. I did this work ages ago, so I don't know if I can track it down. But I did a idea and a concept for a kaiju book a while back. And it was something I was thinking about. I just didn't have the story sorted for it like I have for Nosfero. And so, I've had ideas for kaiju books and things like that. But I think space is a really great area for people to explore. Things like Dune are possible in comics. You just have to have the scale. But we've got a lot of range happening. Hit the like and share the link, the campaign link, guys. Yeah, let's have a nice bump tonight. Yeah, you guys are amazing. You guys have done so much today too. I really appreciate it, and thank you for that. Yeah, please get the link out there. Please, tell people to check it out. I know you guys believe in this book, and it's really overwhelming to see that you guys believe in this book so much, and because I believe in it, and my family believes in it. My wife and I have spent a lot of time talking about this and putting the time in, and we know we always look forward to fulfillment, and we always look forward to how putting this book in people's hands, because we've done it twice, and it's just great to mail this all over the world and mail books. So, our most recent package we mailed off to Australia, and so it's been really cool to see. Let me just see here. Just seeing this campaign for the first time looks fantastic. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Reminds me of, cool, Into Shambhala. Wow, that's very high praise. And Moonshadow, yes, I love Moonshadow. That's a great book with the colors and lighter line work. Yeah, Moonshadow, I have the hardcover of that book, and I love it. And I think John J. Muth's watercolor stuff, Kent Williams stuff is amazing. And I really appreciate you saying that. The things that you guys say about this book, and the way in which, let me see if I wish I could scale that a little bit, but it's a pain to do. For some reason, it's not working. But the thing about when we're working on this book and we're putting this stuff together is making sure that it's something that is beautiful. And when I do those posts, which is really cool to see people respond to it, but when I do those posts where I'll put the artwork, in a photograph, and then I'll tilt it so that people can see the paper texture and really see what we're doing on this project. I don't know if you guys can see that, but that's what this is about. This is just putting pigment onto 300-pound, watercolor paper, cotton rag, and you get this effect, this classic. And even though I cover it up with the type in Illustrator, the type on the original artwork for this book is hand lettered. So I did hand lettering to design the type, and this is what it's about. You know what I mean? Shane was obsessed with Space Pussy for a while there. Yeah, that's interesting. They do say that, never mind, I can't make that joke. It was a complimentary joke in a sense, but I'm not allowed to make that joke. So there you go. But this is what you guys are funding. People want to talk about, Comicsgate and CG. I think it makes pseudo-intellectuals feel better to think that we're stupid, that people who are part of this movement are not intelligent and not interested, not curious, and making work. You just cracked me up with that. Mama Susan is deaf. Wife slapping Sean's leg off stream. You have no idea, but maybe you do. It makes them feel better because to the pseudo-intellectual, thinking that other people are stupid and don't know the smart things they know is all they've got, and that's just not how. Yeah, it's out of this world. And I was also going to say that, I can't. Nope. If we get to 10K in the next couple hours, I'll tell you that joke. I'll never have to tell it. So here you go. So as we we look at this stuff, guys, there'll be some detail shots. I might have some process stuff in the book, but I want you to take a look at where the brush hits the paper. This is magnified so much larger than the actual artwork is. And it's like, watch that scene in Good Will Hunting where he calls out those guys, why don't you think of something original instead of having a quote and parrot all these other people because you've got no ideas. And that's kind of what it is. I think, wicked smart, guys. Lord Crackhead knows what I'm talking about when I say that. She's wicked smart. My boy's wicked smart. But this is what Comicsgate's about. Paper texture, skill, craftsmanship, and a collection of backers and patrons to this art form that make fantasy and the impossible possible. That make this stuff happen in the real world every time. Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I was really proud of that piece, and I was honored to be in that book. That was your piece in Malin's Visions book. Matt Damon. My daughter loves when I do that imitation. They don't call me Big Brain because of my comically oversized forehead. Oh, wait. That's right. Most comics is about smartness. Absolutely right. We're noticing all this in the farm just off the wall. So here you go. Here's another look at... so here's some books on a shelf that aren't there yet. Aren't totally rendered yet. And then here you go. Here's a close-up of some of the smaller work and detail that goes into a book like this. And you can see that paper texture. And that's just me with these glasses on, trying to make something happen for you guys. It's magical. And this is us saying to the creative lightweights and the wannabe intellectuals, he's a learned man, but his book collection is dark. So here's the whole thing about it, right? Is that when you're looking at this story, I'll tell you a little bit about the story that I haven't really talked about that much yet today, or yet during this campaign, is that the whole mission of the folks that go to take out that order, they're there because the person who stole a book from the library to open up a doorway to bad things is now coming back saying, pretending they aren't the person who stole it, saying, I found this book to return to your library. But ultimately what her goal is to destroy as much of the library as possible so that this is one of the few books and its bad ideas that can survive. I don't know if that reminds you of anything going on in culture right now, but that's the aspect of it. So Nosfero's whole mission with a lot of this stuff is to try to retrieve this knowledge, this kind of spiritual knowledge, while also being guided by the wisdom of good things, but it doesn't mean that he's only aware of good things. I don't like the idea of goodness as being ain't that just I'm so that hit me at the absolute that just caught me. You got me. Admiral, I salute you. You absolutely just killed me with that. My God, you guys are funny. You know what, guys? Seriously, one of the things about it is, as we go through all this stuff, and as we go through all this bullshit with people canceling us, I had somebody. I remember I had a guy I knew who's an artist and a fairly successful artist, and I showed him Ethan Van Sciver and what he was going through in his work, and this was someone I had as a former student. The person said to me with barely a hint of irony, am I going to have to cancel you now? And I thought, first of all, when you're somebody's mentor and you teach them, that's not something I would ever say. If my mentor said something I disagreed with, that's not something I would say to him. Ever. Like, there's just a respect there. But when I think about all of the bullshit that people who don't know art and don't understand what it's like to actually care about and back creativity, the way that they view things, they're not capable of this. They're not capable of appreciating it, and they sure as hell don't know how to support it. They resent it. They want to tear it down. And those are the things that you kind of think about, like when my mentor, comes for a visit up, to give a lecture or talk at a school back when I was a college professor. If the guy ends up touching a door handle, I haven't done my job, because that's how you treat people with reverence. That's what's important to me. When somebody shares art and beauty with you and shares, there's one of the symbols of the evil order right there. But when somebody shares knowledge with you, that is one of the most important things. The splash page up on the campaign page has a very Muka's everything. For me, Muka was a huge influence on my work. And there we go. And you guys can, again, I just want you guys to really get it, see what you're making happen. Comicsgate is not the independent scene, because Alterna to me is huge as well. What they're doing, what Pete's doing. We are not what they wish we were. If somebody wants to talk about Joseph Campbell, if somebody wants to talk about I'll take whatever word it is. I'll take anything associated with Muka. I'll take that. Even if it was your work is awful and I hate Muka, I'd be like, it reminds you of Muka. So in any shape, form, or fashion. So yeah, it's this to me. If I can get the page from that double page spread, because somebody mentioned it, and that's where she gets bit by the bat, and that's why he's got to figure out a way to quickly cure her, just like Van Helsing would. Let me see if I can keep some of that on frame for a second so the camera can focus. But do you guys see that? You guys are supporting the making of artwork with classic Golden Age illustration materials. That's what this movement is doing. Do not ever let anybody tell you that this movement is narrow. It is the furthest thing from narrow. I do not conform to their narrative about Comicsgate. I do not conform to their narrative about comic book fans. And I've been a comic book fan, like a hardcore fan, since I was 11. So I won't have anybody speak bad of the people that I was around who supported me in my artwork. I won't have a bad word said about it. It's not going to happen. But this is the stuff. This is why so many of us were affected by pulp and moved by that artwork. And this is how we're going to get, this is how we win. We make the best work that we can possibly make. We make things that are beautiful, inspiring, and involve like meticulous creative craftsmanship. Yeah, never accept their premise. Absolutely right. Always reject the premise. That was one of my first things I learned and really focused on rhetorically, is don't accept the premise when somebody comes at you with something that's idiotic. Question the premise. Never concede any ground on this stuff. And I never will. Their premise is really simple. Their premise is that we can't get along. Everybody who's different can't get along. Well, I've got news for them. We're getting along just fine. And that's why they hate it. They hate seeing different people from different backgrounds, not only getting along, but telling jokes, poking fun at each other, and thriving and succeeding. They can't stand that idea. And they can't stand sincerity. And just because they don't have a sense of humor, just because they can't be sincere, does not mean that we have to stop doing what we've always done. They're not the history of comics. They're not the history of creativity. We are. And it's time for us to make sure they know that by showing them what we're capable of. Huge responsibility. Yep. Absolutely. Never accept their premise and defend CG. Absolutely right. Yep. Without them. The piece with the creature rising up and almost holding the angled panel above is great. Oh, thank you. Using a heavy gutter gives it a nice weight. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, that was for me. I remember when I was working on that piece and I was trying to kind of say something about the whole idea of doorways and cosmic doorways and how you can, really show and get into the detail. Like some of these figures in here and these panels are incredibly small. And the detail that goes into it is just incredibly meticulous. But the whole idea of it is to just to make sure that it's not noise and really try to make it something that almost is got a harmony to it and a rhythm to it. Yes. Yeah, that's a really great one. Gosh, you guys are putting so much smart stuff out there. Hold on a second here. And I know it's not showing up all the way, but as one of my favorite literary, as one of my reading is terrible. Christopher Hitchens, there you go. So as one of my favorite literary heroes said at his last public speech before his death, take the risk of thinking. I think I saw you post that today. Take the risk of thinking for yourself. Much more happiness, truth, beauty, and wisdom will come to you that way. It's absolutely true, because it's not about this crazy idea they have of subjectivism, right? That is your truth, that is this. To me, the response from CG and the response of people backing this book is telling me things about, it's factual data. It's a feedback that I'm taking in and going, all right, well, what do I need to do here? What do I need to do? And how do I put this stuff together? And that's going to help me to get to the point I need to get to. And that's why I get to show scope. And that's why, I get to make things happen the way that they're happening. And again, guys, this is you making it happen. This is what it's about right here. This is my third campaign. I've been doing this now for a couple of years, but this is the campaign I think this is me sort of putting myself in a completely new environment and really, I don't know. I got to tell you, it's the most at home I think I've felt in my artistic career, and since I was a kid drawing comic books when I was in high school and middle school, it's the most at home I've felt, and it's the most creatively fulfilled that I've felt in all this time, and that's why I'm making the work I'm making. This work is going to be bold, it's going to be creative, it's going to be beautiful and inspiring, and I want it to feel like you're seeing horror movies coming to life. You're seeing a movie and although I know to me comics are never movies, they're comics, but you're seeing a story, a visual story come to life that you've never seen before, and it's all yours. It's all, oh, jeez. Thanks, Admiral. Jeez. Every time I see Sean's pages, it makes me glad I was able to get on the autograph. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that tier just vanished. That was a quick. And I will guarantee you this. I mean, the way that I use the word sketch, my wife was joking with me. She's like, why don't you just call it a head, painting that you're doing? And I go, because, it doesn't have a border per se, but it'll be beautiful. Those head sketches I put a ton into. And thank you, Admiral Wackus. I do appreciate it. You guys are awesome, and you've made this, so completely an overwhelming experience. And I'm so grateful because, I've been there with you guys, and I go back to some of the old streams and I see, familiar names in the chat, and I go, oh my gosh, I actually am getting to know these people now. But, being in those early Comicsgate streams when it was just a couple of people and then, fans, I just felt so immediately connected to it. And I was in such a vastly different place in my life where I was teaching at college, and I was having all of these ideas and these thoughts about what is going on with pop culture and why are these people so determined to reduce me to the thing I find least interesting about myself. I don't understand it. So many people I know from my generation worked their entire life as artists and as creators to be seen for the quality of their work, for how hard it is to gain a skill, enough so that people look at it and go, hey, that pigment that you're moving around, on that piece of paper, that looks like something. That was everything to us. That was the entire journey we were taking with our work. And to see yourself reduced down to, something like your skin color, it just you think to yourself, this is what you call progress? That's not what I call progress. The people that I hang out with and the people who inspire me, our conversations are about, funny enough, what do you do? What do you do? Like, tell me what you do for a living. When I meet somebody, I always want to know, like, tell me about yourself. What do you do? I never wonder about those other aspects of them, and unless they make it an issue, because they're not interesting to me. They're really not that interesting to me. And it's when someone tells me whether they're a musician or they, are an electrician or they're a plumber or they're, in IT or they're whatever they're interested in, I want to hear about it. That's what fascinates me. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate that. What's funny is that if anybody ever wants to do, and something, maybe I should do a tier or figure something else I can do about this with this, but if anybody is ever interested in talking to me about painting or talking to me about art, and I know actually, forgot to mention this. So tomorrow, I think we have it planned. I'm going to be going on Clayton's channel, Clayton Barton's channel, I think. I don't know if he's announced it yet, but the last time we talked, we were talking about me going on there on Monday to talk about my artwork. But I don't want anybody to think that they can't use traditional media or digital or traditional media. And I love doing demos of both of those and showing people how to work. So I might do some videos on that if anybody's interested. But anybody can learn to do this stuff. And, when someone said to me one time when I was teaching, they go, wow, you're really good at teaching painting. Like, what is your philosophy for teaching painting? And I said, yeah, that's right, Nosfero. There it is. I remember saying to, that would be an interesting thing to see. Yeah, that'll be the team up, right? But when someone said to me, why are you so good at teaching people how to paint? And I said, well, because if I could teach myself how to paint, I can teach anybody. I was that bad at it. Yeah, exactly. Big goofy hair and black t-shirt. Yeah, exactly, right? Oh, yeah, absolutely, Stephen Rockwood. I'd be happy to. I love to talk about things like, pen and ink and watercolor and gouache and any subject people are interested in. That's what I did for 18 years of my life, and it'll always be a part of me. But yeah, isn't it funny? Like when I meet people, and it's really, it's so strange when people, like, you meet people and they'll be like, list off a bunch of things about themselves. And the things I'll pick up on are if they mention if they have kids, if they're married, where they live, what kind of interests they have, what kind of food they like. Those are the things that interest me. And I can never gauge what somebody is interested in just by looking at them. Like, it's hard. Like when I met my wife and she was telling me what her favorite movies was. And I was like, oh, she's like, oh, my favorite movie is. And I'm kind of like, oh, I'd be curious to know, And if I were to guess what her favorite movie was, I would have never come up with it. But one of her favorite movies is Terry Gilliam's The Fisher King. And I'm like, wow, that is such an amazing insight into somebody. And I just went, wow, that just kind of, opens up layers, to this person that I wouldn't have thought of. and why does she like it, and what are the things about it that are poetic or visually beautiful that inspire her. And so when people meet me, the thing that drives me the craziest is when someone will meet me, they'll say, actually they say the same thing about anybody I'm interested in. So here's the typical conversation I have. Let me see. I can gauge how good someone is at poker in under 1 minute. I like that. Oh, did you ever watch that video about the card mechanic I sent you? About the blind card player? Now that guy is, to me, completely inspirational. Yeah, I'm terrible at playing poker, so you should be able to figure that out by now. Oh, I've got one for you. I'll tell you something about me. Within like 1 or 2 guesses, I can guess almost anybody I meet for over like a couple of minutes what their Myers-Briggs type is out of 16 types. I can tell you, like, I can type somebody Myers-Briggs wise so easily, it's ridiculous. So yeah, that's one of the more fun things. And so I pretty much can figure out, like, how people, what people are interested in, what they're motivated by. And I'm amazed when people try to attribute insane motives to good people. And I just go, you just have no idea, what this is. I want to play against Bancroft. Well, listen, I either one of you would probably like to play against me because you'd win, but I'd be terrible at it. So yeah, I just want to have that up there where you guys can see it. 120 backers, guys. Look at that. That's just incredible to me. I could not be happier with how things have gone, and this first 30 days has been huge. To see the campaign grow and to see the word get out there and to have met so many people and made so many friends, as a part of this community. There you go. Heads up for rolls. There you go. Yeah. Nice. Look at you guys. There you have it. You guys are awesome. Yeah. So yeah, Michael has one of my favorite comments that is said about, and I'm not going to say it here, but one of my favorite Myers-Briggs types of personality is when people describe you as so even keel and calm, it can drive them crazy. That's one of my favorite kinds of people, because I just go, yep, those are the people I want around me. Those are the perceiving type personalities. And you need people who look at things, and are I don't know. There's just this. What's a good phrase? Here's one for you, Michael. If someone were to ask me to describe you to a stranger, I would say you've certainly got a quality that is still waters run deep kind of quality. Doesn't mean that you're always still waters, but I love that. Yeah, there you go. I'll see if you can guess. You can guess my. If you can guess mine, I'll see if you can come up with. Is your driver all crazy enough? Yeah, isn't that funny, right? It's so I'll give you one that I was thinking about the other day that people don't seem to grasp, because I've got 5 people here right now. So we've got a low stream pirate shirt. There you go. I've got 5 people in here watching right now, and I'll tell you this thing. Understanding, one of the things that's been fun for me is understanding. Yeah, I mean, it's something that just is really interesting. It talks about, you can take online tests for it, but there's 16 personality types, and it just deals with whether you're an introvert or an extrovert, whether you're intuitive or you're sensing, whether you're feeling or thinking driven, and whether you're a judging personality, which is to say you look at things and you want to come to a judgment about them, or you're a perceiver, where you're open to the different kinds of possibilities and of things. And all those different types, when you put those 4 things together, you get 16 different types as you arrange them for how people process information. And for me, Myers-Briggs. So it's the Myers-Briggs test. And you can read people's Myers-Briggs type, and it's like reading a book. Or it's kind of terrifying if you take it. And sometimes, let me see here. Myers-Briggs. There you go. I think I spelt it right. Intellectual narcissist thinking pirate shirt. That's great. We play blackjack at my private rifle range. Oh, there you go. Set up a deck on 500 meters. Each card we hit is what we are dealt. Bet on it like adorable. More fun. Oh my gosh. Let me see here. It doesn't really work. People can't be that fine that way because they're too complex. Yeah, absolutely. their test is one type and then a different type the next day. Yeah, it depends. I've taken that test a bunch of times and I've ended up on the same type, but I would agree with you that it doesn't tell you that much about certain things. Like, it's a useless test for dictating certain aspects of performance. But I have found that it can be useful in getting kind of a little bit of an outside perspective on how different types think. Because I used to think that there were certain types that when people would tell me they were, I'd go, oh, wow, like that's how you perceive information. And that's how you experience things. But yeah, it's a very good point. I mean, I don't think it's the end-all, be-all of that. And I will tell you this, I have this thing where I was hit in the eye with a Matchbox car when I was a kid. And so my strongest eye is I'm right-handed and left-eyed, and it used to make it really tough for me to shoot. It was really crazy. How many hours till the end of the first 30? So I've got a lot of hours left, I believe, in the first 30. And so let's see how many we have. We have 6 hours left. And so what I may be doing is, let's see where we are right now. Yeah, 5 hours left. So what I'm probably going to be doing is I'm going to be wrapping up this stream in a second. And then I'm going to be probably just coming on at about the last hour or so of the campaign. And my plan is that, oh yeah, it's not good for archery and it's not good for shooting. So when I forget what the gentleman who was teaching me how to shoot did, but I was actually able to shoot pretty well at skeet and trap shoot back when I was shooting. I would just kind of like hold my eye a certain way, and he'd tell me how to lead differently when I fired, but that was really frustrating. Yeah, never forget to wrap it up. Yeah, I promise. So do you mean, sorry, to wrap up the to do the wrap up for the stream, or to do the which other thing? Which of the many things I got to remember? Yeah, I was ENTJ before military, and now well, there you go. After the test I took was like 300 questions in my AP psychology class, high school. Yeah, INTJs are that's a type I've had a lot of experience with, and I get a lot of really great perspectives from them. But again, it's my extrovert personalities are the ones that I find the most interesting because I'm an introvert. So I always think, oh wow, that's cool. So yeah, so let's do this. I'm ambidextrous. Oh, that's hold the tiger with the left. Eric, you just killed me with that. So here's what we're gonna do, guys. Here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna wrap up this stream, and I'm gonna show you guys where we are right now. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have a chill stream. I'm gonna have a chill stream later. To close it out. It's gonna be at 3 a.m. I don't expect any of you guys to be here. If you got a crash or you've got work the next day, and then that's where Eric the Quano, you guys kill me. Yeah. You guys are so awesome. You're cracking me up. So this is what we're going to do, guys. I'm going to wrap up this stream, and then I'm going to be popping back on. I think everybody's been telling me, I think what we're going to do is we're going to do the extending the stream, and I'm going to do the countdown, and everybody who backs, or I'm going to look at the time, and everybody who backs in the next 5 hours, as always, my first 30-day backers are going to have some special things in there. That when they get sent out that book. So yeah, you guys have been fantastic. Thank you for being here for the Not at an Ungodly Hour closeout stream that we're doing. I'm going to be back on here in about 5 hours with another stream just to kind of add more thanks to you guys and talk a little bit more about the project and things like that. But here's the big thing I want to make sure I say, because for people watching this later and for people who've been here and backed the campaign, I want to say this. I've had 30 days of a Comicsgate campaign. I am doing my work in traditional work. Oh yeah, Todd McFarlane's Hulk. Sorry, got distracted there. I've been doing this campaign for 30 days. I've been involved in Comicsgate since before the launch of Cyberfrog. So I don't even know how far back that goes. But when Ethan was just talking about the idea of doing Cyberfrog, and he was still working for DC Comics. And in all of that time, I've never been amongst a funnier, more intelligent, more creative group of people that have enriched my life and have inspired me as an artist. And all of this stuff, starting with my first 2 art books that were inspired by Ethan and Comicsgate and Indiegogo crowdfunding. That's why they're on Indiegogo. I've never seen people who are more inspiring, more supportive, more appreciative, and who care more about this art form and storytelling. And it's a great community. It's a community where I feel very much at home. And doing this campaign has just been even more proof, to me anyway, of what an incredible moment this is in the history of pop culture making, in the history of comics, to be alive and be making work in a place where it doesn't fall on deaf ears or blind eyes. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. And you guys are amazing. And I'll be seeing you guys later tonight, just to kind of, I feel like I've got to stream right around where the 30-day mark would have ended. And we'll just do this extension with new things, new fun things. And yeah, hail chat, hail Comicsgate. Thank you guys. On behalf of my family and myself, thank you. And Nosfero, this comic I love. Thank you guys for backing it. Thank you guys for supporting my work. And just, being a part of this awesome community that I love and I'm proud to be a part of. So take care, everybody. I will see you guys soon. You guys are 120. Look at you guys. All right, I gotta refresh this here. Hang on. Let's see where we are here. Did it go up? Oh my gosh, there you go. It's got 121 backers. The total has not updated yet, but I know it will. And there you go. You guys are awesome. Thank you guys so much for being here, for being a part of this stuff. You guys, there's nowhere else I'd rather be. I gotta go before I get more ridiculously misty-eyed. But yeah, 121. Look at that, guys. That's you. You guys made this happen. God bless you. I appreciate it. See you later, my friends. Take care, and I'll see you soon. You guys are amazing. All right, take care.
Here's a little something for you busters. Yeah.
You're not even learning anything on the street.
Yeah.
You think I'm stupid, son?
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say to you, boy?
Yeah.
Do you?
What's up with that?
Look at me, damn it!
Y'all cowards don't even smoke crack. What's up with
You
that?
smoke crack, don't you?
Y'all cowards don't even smoke crack.
Look at me, boy!
Hey to
You
you,
smoke crack, don't you?
don't even smoke crack.
You know what that does to you? Huh? You smoke crack, don't you?
Smoke crack.
Go on and do it expeditiously.
What's up with that?
It kills your brain cells, son. It kills your brain cells.
Don't even smoke crack.
No guts, huh?
Nosfero is a supernatural hero that is a cross between the Shadow, Peter Cushing's Abraham Van Helsing, and Lovecraft's Henry Armitage. The lone surviving member of the secret holy order, he is sworn to battle a cult of vampires dedicated to opening the door to the eldritch gods they worship. Striking from his crypt lair deep within an impenetrable mire, Nosfero collects the cult's various grimoire and artifacts in an attempt to learn the means of defeating them. Nosfero, meaning Iron Nose, underwent the ritualistic binding to the spirit world, wherein members of the secret order have a shard from a holy sword driven through their noses to allow them to access supernatural abilities. One such ability allows Nosfero to summon Phantomas, a giant phantom hound that can travel through the nether to and from any location when needed. With no worldly attachments beyond his devotion to God, Nosfero's world is forever changed when he rescues a beautiful young maiden named Laurel from one of the cult's vile sacrificial rituals. Nosfero the Cryptwalker Volume 1 is my third Indiegogo campaign and will be a fully painted and lavishly illustrated pulp adventure story. Sensational, vivid, and uncompromisingly aspirational storytelling with an edge. Don't miss your chance to back Nosfero the Cryptwalker Volume 1, available for a limited time only on Indiegogo.
King Kong ain't got nothing on me!